One story that comes to my mind was the story that you told during your TED talk, where you rolled a joint and gave it to your own father. What was the reason behind that?
My father, he was a very, very hardworking man. He worked for the last 35 years before his retirement, every day without taking a day off. And it was extremely stressful. By the end of his entire journey into his career or life, by constantly sitting, he developed a lot of back pain towards the end. This was in 2014, and he was my first patient, to be honest. So initially, what happened was, in 2014, Viki was living pretty much like a monk. There was no desires, no actions, no reactions, no responses, nothing. He was just like constantly in the middle of everything. And this my dad started suffering, and he went from one doctor to another doctor who put him on constant painkillers to suppress his pain, but it really wasn't curing his fundamental problem, or what was the source of the problem. Every painkiller would work for a certain time and then would stop working after a certain point of time, and there's a limitation as to how much of this dose of a particular painkiller you can take within a 24 hours period. So he went from low level of painkillers to really, really high level painkillers, and wherein there's a limitation that take these medications high. Did you lose the data?
No, it's fine. It's fine.
Yeah. So there was this limitation, that you cannot take this drug for 18 hours or so. So after he takes the tablet, after 6 hours or so, the pain would stop, and the pain would start again. And he'll have to end up suffering for another 10 hours, 12 hours before he can take his next dose. And the pain was extremely severe. And one day, it was 5 in the morning, and caught him crying in the living room at 5 in the morning. It was a very disturbed awakening from the sleep as to who's crying in the house. And it was like some little girl was crying, like the whole voice had changed, and he was really, really suffering very badly. And when I went to the living room, he was just holding on to the dining table, and another hand on his thighs, and he was suffering from such intense pain and crying out loud. And that day changed a lot. So immediately came back to my room, rolled a joint, and asked him, this is a very special herb from the Himalayas, so you need to smoke it, and it's going to you need to hi, sorry, there are some bunch of calls coming in. And so anyway, so asked him to smoke this thing, and then telling him that this is a very special herb from Himalayas, and one of my friends' mom was using it for her condition, and it helped really well. Got it to you yesterday, but forgot to give it to you. Made some story. So anyway, put the joint in his mouth and then lit it up on fire at 5:15 in the morning. And after about 3 hits, took out the joint, kept it on the dining table, and then asked him how he was feeling. Gave him about 10-15 minutes of time to see if it was too strong for him to handle. And after that, again, he said like, still the pain is there. So put the joint back in his mouth, and then like lit it up again, and another three puffs, and then put it out, and then waited for 15 minutes, and then last time put it in his mouth back again and lit it up. It was 6 o'clock by this time, and then the last three inhalations, and then he was relieved. He was relieved from his pain, like insanely crazily. He forgot that he had like this biological pain. His physical symptoms were disappearing, and then he was pain free for many hours after that. And it was beautiful to watch, because me and my mom were having a laugh in the kitchen as to what really is going on. But ultimately, like it was like a deep satisfaction that his pain was gone, and the plant helped him in such a way that whatever it is that was inflamed, the anti-inflammatory properties worked really well on his condition, which was like a nerve compression that he had in his spine. So it was amazing, and that's how my journey began with cannabis. And treating people after like knowing and researching and understanding cannabis a lot only in the mind. My father happened to be the first patient, and a very successful story that too.